Hello everyone, thanks for checking out my video. Welcome to my channel, Jersey Shore Pondscapes Videos. My name is Chris. I have a ton of stuff here on this channel for you guys, so please take some time, take a look around. I have a bunch of videos on just about every topic you can think of when it comes to koi ponds and waterfalls and water plants and pond filtration. So please take a look around. Hopefully you'll find something that'll help you out and you're interested in. And I also have a really nice website. It's www.pondscapesandmore.com. Pondscapes and More, all one word. I have a ton of pictures on there and videos on different ponds and stuff that I've built in the past. I have a section on landscaping. I have a section on attracting wild birds into your backyard. So some really cool stuff. Please check it out. I also have some affiliate links there on that channel that I'm working on, to buy products such as this. So today's video, we are doing a product review of these Performance Pro Artesian 2 pumps. So I have to start off by saying that I love these pumps. I have been using these pumps now for at least 12 to 15 years, almost exclusively. I don't need to use anything else. These pumps have been great. They come in all different sizes. I'm really happy with the way these pumps perform for me. Now, one thing I want to say too is running my own business, I have the advantage of being able to purchase any product from anywhere, anytime. All right. I'm not restricted simply by what products a store that I work for sells, or what's available at my local garden center. All right, I can get anything, anywhere, anytime. That being said, I always use these pumps. All right, and it just so happens that a local pond supply store called Mammoth Feed Water World has these pumps, and it works out for me very well. But these pumps are awesome, and even if they didn't carry them, I would still be using these pumps and ordering them from somewhere else on my own. Okay, so there are basically two different types of these pumps that we're going to talk about today. It's a low RPM pump and a high flow pump. Now, Performance Pro also makes what's called a high head pressure pump. We're not going to be talking about them. To be honest with you, I've never used one. I really don't have a use for one. 90% of all the pond pumps that I purchase are these low RPM pumps. And occasionally, when I need a little extra power, I can use a high flow pump. All right, a high flow pump basically is something that will be a higher horsepower, and it spins at a higher RPM than these. 3,450 RPMs on the high flow pumps. The low RPM pumps here flow on half that, about 1,725 RPMs. All right. The difference is the energy consumption here is amazing. Okay, these are very energy efficient pumps. However, right, they don't have the high head pressure to be able to push water a long distance, or to suck water from a long distance, or a high, a high elevation. All right. But 90% of the time in normal pond applications for circulating the water, these pumps are all you're ever going to need. All right. They come in a wide range of sizes, from a 1/8 3,000 gallon per hour model, which is what this one is, all the way up to, and I'll show you in a little bit, a 1 horsepower 3-inch model that pumps over 13,000 gallons per hour. All right. So there's a wide range here of pumps available with different gallons per hour ratings. Okay. Now, A high flow pump, like I said, is something that is going to be used if you need higher pressure. If you're pulling water from a far distance or pumping water for a far distance, this is going to lose a lot of pressure quickly, okay? Not that quickly, but it definitely will lose some head pressure compared to the high flow pumps, okay? The high flow pumps, however, are going to be drawing a lot more power, okay, because they do spin at twice the revolution, so there is definitely more force behind them. If you are using these to run a bead filter system, okay, there are some things that you should consider and know about those bead filters and the flow rate through them using these pumps. And it's basically the power of the backwashing ability of this, okay? I have another video on bead filters, okay? Please check out that video for information about that. These can run with bead filters, no problem, but what I just briefly am going to say is that we need to make sure we are backwashing those filters at a very frequent interval, because if we allow all of the muck and sludge to really build up inside those bead filters, these pumps are not going to have that high head pressure enough to really churn up all that muck inside that filter and clean it out, okay? Regular routine maintenance through a bead filter, regular backwashing where the filters are kept fairly clean, this is not a problem. These things work great. Okay, so check out that other video on bead filters if you're interested in that application. I go into great detail. I even have another filter on how to, another video on how to clean bead filters, where I actually take one all apart and clean it all out and show you how that all works. So check that out too. But anyway, getting back to these pumps. So the energy efficiency on these pumps is amazing, all right? It's really one of their key aspects. These low RPM pumps, I want to say a pump, just to throw out a number, between, around a 5,000 to 6,000 gallon per hour pump, you're probably looking at about 3.5 amps, all right? Incredibly low. Now, these pumps are costly, however. These are expensive, all right? They also are very reliable, all right? You get what you pay for, all right? The problem is, initially, the average person goes to buy one of these pumps, and again, I'm just throwing numbers out, and let's say this pump is $900, okay, which it's pretty close, okay? A pool pump from a local pool supply store that can pump the same amount of water as this, maybe $500, all right? So people say, well, why am I going to buy that pond pump from that pond place? They want $900 for it when I can buy this whatever, Hayward pump or whatever from the pool store that's $500. I mean, that's crazy. I'm going to buy the $500 one, all right? What you need to know, and they're not telling you, okay, is that this pump runs on 3 amps. That pump runs on maybe 10 or 12 amps. Some of them are even 14, 15 amps, okay? A lot less energy consumption here. Now, the pool pump is a high RPM pump. That's spinning at 3,400 RPMs, all right? That thing can pump water on your roof. We don't need to do that, okay, on the pond, right? But to draw, 12 amps, and this draws, 3.5, 4 amps, is a huge difference, especially considering that on your pool, especially around our area here, I mean, a pool, we're running from June to September, and you're probably only running your pool filters for a portion of the day. Whereas a pond, our ponds here in our area, I'm starting ponds up in March, hopefully mid-March or early April, all right? And these pumps are running 24/7 until November, right? So like 9 months straight, these pumps are running. That's a lot of power we're talking about here, all right? So to run a pump for 9 months straight at 12 amps, man, it's gonna cost you a lot of money, all right? I wanna tell you, you're probably gonna be saving somewhere in the neighborhood of $50 a month running this pump over the other pump. Now your initial cost may be a few $100s more, but over the course of a year, even 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you know how much money you're saving with this? Big time, all right? So definitely take that into consideration, all right? The initial cost is more, it's a one-time cost. The other pumps are cheaper, but you're gonna pay a lot more for them every month you're running it for the life of that pump, all right? So it's an important fact. The next thing about these pumps, another big, really great feature about these pumps is the fact that they come with a pump trap strainer basket here built in, okay? It's not separate. It's not a pump, and then you have to buy a separate pump trap unit separate, okay? It's all built right in. So we're going to talk about some advantages of this. Open up the lid here. We have a nice big strainer basket inside. 2-inch fittings on the front of the pump, all right, with unions that come off very easily, okay? They have nice O-rings inside. It's a union on the front of the pump, a union here on the top of the pump. So anytime that pump needs to be removed from the plumbing, removed from the filter system, you know, whether we're cleaning it, whether we're servicing it, whatever, very easy with these unions, all right? Awesome to have. These strainer baskets, okay, they're called pump traps here in the beginning, and what it is it basically traps any debris that may be sucked up into the pump so that it doesn't get into the impeller, all right? If we have any kind of debris, leaves, I don't know, like evergreen pine needles or small fish or rocks or gravel or whatever can get sucked up into this pump, if that gets into the impeller, it can damage the impeller, it can clog the impeller, it could even jam the impeller, and if the impeller gets jammed, it can burn out the motor, all right? So it's very important to have one of these traps, you know, with these strainer baskets in front of, you know, the pump so that it stays clean, all right? Now, a lot of pumps don't come with this attached. It's something separate that we have to buy. It's an added expense as well, okay? This pump trap right here, this is actually a Hayward model. This is a real common model. I see these all the time. People buy them at pool supply shops, okay? A little trick. I know years ago these things used to be sold all together in one unit, right? You get the whole unit, you get the lid, and you get the little basket that goes inside, all right? Now they're getting tricky. Now they're getting fancy. Everything is separate, all right? The body you buy for one price, the lid is another price, the basket is another price, and I even had one place that charged me separately for the O-ring that goes inside here to seal the lid, all right? It's crazy. They used to sell these whole things all complete in one package years ago. I used to buy them for under $100. Now when you go buy these and you have to buy each individual part, yeah, it probably costs you well over $150 to $170 for these things. Gets a little crazy. Anyway, my point is you got to buy the pump, then you got to buy this separately. Now, a lot of times we run into a lot of issues, all right? The main thing is not all pumps are built to fit all these different traps. There's a ton of different pond traps available, pump traps, okay? Every company manufacturer makes something different. They're all different sizes. They have different fittings. And not all pump traps will fit the pump you buy. So then you have to figure out all kinds of different like PVC fittings and adapters and unions and stuff to make it fit. All right. It's a pain in the neck. All right. Sometimes a pump is produced from, whatever manufacturer to have a specific pump trap fit with it that they sell separately. Sometimes those pump traps are not available, or maybe the store where you bought the pump has the pump but not the trap. Okay? Now, there's no other trap is going to fit onto that pump because the fittings on the pump and on the trap are proprietary to that company. And the threads are crazy, nothing else will fit it. All right? It's just a pain in the neck. All right? This one, for example, okay? Like, there is nothing that's going to fit this union, this thread on this, other than the pump that it comes with. All right? A standard PVC fitting will not fit here. All right? It's just the way they do things. The other disadvantage sometimes with having to buy one of these pump traps separately is the fact that a lot of times the fittings on them are very small. All right? There's only a little 1.5 inch fitting in here. All right? That's going to restrict a lot of flow of water. And I actually have a big adapter on here, whatever this came from. But it's a small little fitting on the back that's pulling water into the pump. So if you have a pump that's pulling, 6,000 to 7,000 gallons per hour, and you put a little 1.5 inch fittings on the front of it, you're going to be restricting that water flow a lot. All right. This has a really nice 2-inch inlet into this trap. Okay. From here inside the pump, there's a nice big hole where the water gets pulled directly into the impeller. There is no water restriction in here at all. All right. Really nice. 2-inch in, 2-inch out. Okay. It's a really, really big advantage to have this thing built in. All right. So this whole unit in front here, where the basket and everything is called the volute. So yeah, everything, boom, put together, one unit. You buy this, you get the whole thing. All right. You don't have to worry about buying something separate, whether or not it's going to fit, if it's restricting water, crazy. All right. Sometimes, I'm sorry to run on this, but sometimes even with some of these baskets, they come with special O-rings or special fittings and stuff inside here. Again, proprietary to that trap, to that company. All right. In time, if that O-ring or the little rubber gasket in there deteriorates, dry rots, and you need a new one, good luck. All right. Nothing else is going to fit it. These are just things that I've run through over the years and years and years that I've been in business, okay? In 25 years I've been doing business, I run into all this stuff. Once I had the option to buy an amazing pump, a really good energy efficient, reliable pump with that trap built in, I'm set. Awesome. Saves me such a headache, okay? All right. Next little feature here too I want to tell you about is in the bottom and the front of this pump here, there are 2 drain plugs. One here in the main trap unit and one back here in by the impeller. They're just little drain plugs, okay, that are used to drain these things out. So like in the winter, if you want to winterize the pump and drain the unit so no water is inside here that can crack and expand and break anything. They're really nice drain plugs here. They come with a nice long power cord. I mean, it's not really long, but it's probably like 6 feet. And these pumps can be wired for either low voltage or high voltage. Okay, they have little wiring diagrams right here on the body of the pump, the motor, and it's actually really easy. You just open these 4 screws here, take the lid off, and you'll see all the little wires and posts inside there, and you can just follow the diagram and wire it either to low voltage or high voltage. 9 times out of 10, I mean just about all the time I believe, when these pumps come wired, they are wired to a standard low voltage. So you can just literally connect them and plug them right in, all right? Hooking them up to a higher voltage, to a 220 line, is definitely a little more energy efficient. especially in the bigger, larger models. But to run them on a standard voltage, just plug them right into your outlet and away you go. No problem. All right. Yeah. So, like I said too, they're available in all different sizes, okay? This is a 1/8 horsepower. This is the smallest one they make. It's a 1/8 horsepower. It pushes 3,000 gallons an hour, and it runs on just over 2 amps. All right, it's an amazing pump. Now, they're also available in from here, another 1/8 that does 3,900 gallons an hour. Then it goes to a 1/4 horsepower, and there's 2 models of that. I believe one is about 4,700 gallons per hour, and the other one's around 5,400 gallons an hour. Then it goes to a 1/3 horsepower, that's 6,300 gallons an hour. Then there's a 1/2 horsepower that's 7,600 gallons per hour. And I want to say that the 1/2 horsepower, 7,600 gallon per hour pump is still around 5 amps. Okay, again, very low power consumption. And it's 7,600 gallons an hour. That's moving a lot of water, okay? Now, these same low RPM pumps also come larger, and I have one of these big ones here. I just want to show you this. It's an older pump. It's an older one that I had, just a spare that I got off the job. I want to show you this anyway. This is heavy. A 1 horsepower, all right, 3-inch model, right? 3-inch output, 3-inch input, all comes, right? All same unions, all right? I don't have the lid here for this one, right here, but you can see the basket that's in this, really nice big basket, all right? And this pump is 13,000 gallons an hour, all right? This thing moves a lot of water. And I want to say, like, I've had these hooked up to high voltage, and I'm just looking at it. It's 4.9 amps on high voltage and 9.5 on low voltage. So even still, right, 9.5 amps, and you're pushing 13,000 gallons of water through a 3-inch pump. That's pretty good. All right, and again, this thing purrs like a kitten. It runs really quiet. Right? Great pump. All right, let me just put this down, and we'll bring this one back up. Okay, all right. So I think I've pretty much given you a pretty good rundown on this now. You know, we've talked about the energy consumption, right, which is huge. The fact that the pump trap is built right into these. They are really reliable pumps. I've had these things running for years and years and years on people's ponds. The only thing I will say is, just like anything else, right, you can go out and buy a Ferrari, you still have to do maintenance on it once in a while, right? These pumps too, I have clients that maybe every 2 to 3 years we'll take the pump in. I'll take it into an electric motor shop, heat repair shop, and they basically will take it apart. They'll just test it electrically and then replace the bearings and the seals. It's usually just something that will cost roughly about $200 for the service. They clean up the whole pump. I get the pump back. It's like brand new again. Not a bad idea. Even though the pump's bearings may still be good, sometimes you hear them whining a little bit. Okay, at that point you know it needs service, and the seal needs to be replaced. But again, routine maintenance, some of my clients have done it, you know, every 2-3 years. Some of my clients have never done it, and the pumps have been running, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So it's up to you. What I would say definitely though is really try to keep these clean. All right. And what I mean by that is, don't allow all kinds of dirt, mud, mulch, water, anything running down, you know, inside the pump, around the pump, into the fan cover here in the back. Okay, you know, keep it nice and clean. it'll run fine. It's an outdoor pump. It'll take the rain, it'll take the moisture just fine. But it definitely is a good idea to, you know, don't allow all the mud and dirt and everything to kind of bury itself around here, all right? Other than that, I think we've pretty much covered everything here. Again, thanks very much for watching, and you know, hit that like button, subscribe to the to my channel, and check out that website. Okay, I have a really cool website, pondscapesandmore.com, and spend some time there. Take a look around. I'm setting up affiliate links and all this now for all different featured products, pond products, landscape products, and bird feeding products as well. Setting all that up, so look for that in the near future. And hopefully you'll be able to purchase these pumps directly from my website, you know, soon. But otherwise, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we hope to see you back again sometime soon. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.